100 years and a few days after the first Australasian Antarctic expedition, there was a modern tribute. A voyage to ice, a journey on the icebreaker Aurora Australis to the place of the first expedition's landing, the home of the blizzard, Mawson's huts at Commonwealth Bay. Large icebergs littered the way as the ship sailed off east towards Commonwealth Bay. The sun was burning through the clouds. Cracks and cays reveal bright blue secrets. These glacial wonders were full of fresh water, the ice packed so densely that oxygen has been squeezed out. In the distance, Antarctic land. We could see rocky outcrops dwarfed by what was behind it, the colossal white mass of the continent. The Aurora Australis caught up with the remnants of the giant iceberg B9B near Commonwealth Bay, and busy satellite photos became reality. There was unseasonal ice in the bay. Fast ice grew out 20 kilometres from the shore and it was rock solid. After 6 deliberate and careful rams onto the ice sheet at full pelt, the Aurora was parked. The weird sensation of not swaying in the swell was soon eclipsed by the delight of Adelie penguins, which arrived en masse to see what the fuss was all about. They fought amongst themselves, squawking and slapping each other with their flipper-like wings. The penguins were fascinated by the bright orange ship and all those aboard. In turn, the humans couldn't wait to stand on ice and see what the penguins would do. Under Antarctic rules, we could not approach them, but they could come to us. And they did. The fast ice had stopped tourist ships from visiting Mawson's huts for the centenary, but the Aurora Australis was carrying 3 helicopters, so all that was needed was good flying weather. Half the landing group for the Mawson centenary commemorations made it on one day, while the rest made it 2 days later. And finally, the event to celebrate Douglas Mawson's landmark expedition could be held. With everyone in place, all members of the 1911 to 1914 expedition were remembered, including the 2 men who died, Belgrave Ninnis and Xavier Mertz. A time capsule was laid and a plaque unveiled. Those attending the ceremony were reminded that the first expedition was a scientific mission, which led to Australia's peaceful current work on Antarctica. Mawson's huts themselves are remarkable. They've survived the century in punishing conditions. Virtually everything inside is covered in hoarfrost, but the place looks and smells lived in. Food items and personal effects colour the small space. There's books, clothes, medicines, and the risque picture of some sort of nymph in Douglas Mawson's private room. It was soon time to go. The way home was by helicopter to the French base de Montdeville and then to the American base McMurdo on a refitted DC-3 plane. The Basler aircraft was a retro beauty. The engine roared loudly as we took off on skis on a short snowy airstrip. It took just over 5 hours to fly 1,500 kilometres over Antarctica's frozen expanse. Well below, wind had carved and contorted the ice, and soon the trans-Antarctic mountain range burst into view. McMurdo is a fascinating, if not picturesque place. During summer there can be up to 1,200 people living there at the United States base, doing science and support work, making it the biggest station on the continent. It looks like a mining town with ugly demountable buildings, containers, generators and exposed piping. Locals sleep in dorm rooms, eat in a giant dining area and work in big climate-controlled labs. This was a stopover on the way home. The chariot to civilization and warm temperatures was a US Air Force C-17 Globemaster III, a smooth, steady ride on a giant grey jet among returning station workers, scientists, goods and waste. The last glimpse of Antarctica was of the snow-smothered trans-Antarctic mountains out a small window. It was the grand tour in 2 weeks, and Douglas Mawson's story was told again.